G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, Brumbies lost to the Chiefs, continuing the undefeated streak for the Kiwis at home against Aussie teams in Super Rugby finals. Now, I'm actually pretty happy with the performance of the Brumbies. They actually took it to the Chiefs, toe to toe, and try to play a game plan that on paper would have worked against the Chiefs. But it didn't quite play out the way that the Brumbies had planned. And I think that, the way that the Blues beat the Chiefs was keeping the pressure on. And the Brumbies tried to do that and just didn't quite execute it the way that the Blues did. The forwards' physicality just isn't quite there, unfortunately, for the Brumbies to pull off that physical style to control the game, control the tempo of the game, sustaining pressure on the opposition four pack, something that the Brumbies wasn't able to achieve this game. They tried to do it and they wasn't able to achieve that, and leading into the result with the sword tonight. Now the commentary seemed to be really keen to see some penalty goals for some reason. I mean, it's like the watching State of Origin, right? Back in the day, right? State of Origin used to be about just having blokes go out there and belt each other for like 80 minutes and never kick penalty goals. And then, you only kick a penalty if it's going to be a draw or something. But hey, nowadays, State of Origin teams kick penalty goals in a rugby league game, like 10 minutes into the game. I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the obsession with kicking penalties in Australia at the moment. But, the fact is, the Brumbies did not lose this game because they did not kick all their penalties. The Chiefs did not win the game because they kick all the penalties. The Chiefs won the game because the Brumbies gave away too many penalties. That's the fact that why Brumbies lost. If the Chiefs decided to take some of those penalties and went for the lineouts and went for the tries, they probably could have scored more points. To be really frank with you, considering how potent they were when they did actually ran the ball and attacked the Brumbies defense, right? But hey, it is just, I think it's really misunderstood how. Yeah, I think it's like it is really misunderstood how the penalties should be used. I mean, like, obviously, if you're in a Rugby World Cup final and you've played the team multiple times throughout the year, knowing that you're not going to be able to score tries from their defense, you probably take those opportunities, right? But against a Super Rugby club team where you don't have 15 of the best players in the world on the field, kicking penalties is actually, not really the best idea in my opinion. But I don't know why the commentary seems to be really keen to see some penalty goals from the Brumbies. But I'm grateful that Brumbies did not do it. Sometimes you might think, right? You might just think for 1 second. The fact that Australian rugby teams has never beaten New Zealand teams away in New Zealand in a Super Rugby final match maybe has something to do with the mentality that you always want to go there to win the game by kicking some penalties and milk some points. Maybe that's like the fundamental reason, right? I mean, the Australian rugby players are not smaller. Like, we're not slower, right? You might argue that the skill level might be a little bit different, but hey, every time we go there in the finals, it just doesn't seem to work out. And in fact, we beat these teams, during the regular season. What makes it that in the finals, we can't win anymore? Maybe it is that mentality of, hey, let's just take what we can and hope for the best, right? And take the 3 points that's on offer and hope for the best. Maybe that's the mentality that's hurting us for all these years. Maybe that's the reason why we haven't beaten the New Zealand team in New Zealand forever, right? Maybe that's why. Maybe there needs to be a change in mentality. And that's why I'm really happy with this performance by the Brumbies, because there is a change in mentality. There is a better understanding of how of the importance of sustained pressure, right? The Blues showed everyone it's possible to beat the Chiefs by sustaining pressure, and the Brumbies tried to do that, and they did not lose because they didn't kick enough penalties. They lost because they just weren't good enough. They weren't disciplined enough throughout the game. Now, in addition to the discipline, I thought Nick Berry had some pretty shocking calls. But hey, it is what it is. You gotta have to deal with the referee sometimes. Hey, Nick Berry probably has lines to it. It's coming up. Maybe he's just feeling a bit maybe he's just feeling a bit nostalgic for the Lions tour and decided to have a bit of a shocking performance tonight with this refereeing. But in addition, I thought the Brumbies tried to play. So anyway, the reason why the Chiefs are so good, in my opinion, is not because they're fast. They are fast. It's not because they're strong. They are strong. But it's the change in speed and change in physicality throughout the game. The changing rhythm, that's the most devastating part, the most predictable part of the Chiefs' offense. So if you watch the Brumbies defense, they're really good. If you let them stay organized, they're actually really good at defending. But the Chiefs, the way the Chiefs attack, they change speed. They kind of like go slow at you a little bit, and then suddenly there's a change in speed when D-Mac gets the ball. Whether it's a bit of a kicking game going on, whether it's a bit of a backdoor play, there's that change of speed from the Chiefs. Setting up space for Leroy Carter. That changing gear is the most dangerous part of the Chiefs' attack. That's why the Chiefs likes to kick penalties, because he slows the game down. And then it gives them the opportunity to reset their energy levels, to reset themselves, and then to get that switch up in momentum to kind of like catch your opposition by surprise. The reason the Blues did so well a couple weeks ago is because they were able to sustain the same level of the game's speed. They were able to keep the game at the same speed, sustaining the pressure throughout, especially in the second half. Throughout the second half, not letting the Chiefs momentum, riding that changing momentum, and then sustaining pressure, eventually cracking the Chiefs for the upset. But hey, the Brumbies try to do that tonight. I really appreciate the effort, but just wasn't there. The defense just wasn't good enough to sustain the pressure. I mean, the referee was pretty shocking. But and then once you're not able to sustain that pressure, the Chiefs kicking game just starting to you start playing the same kicking game as the Chiefs, the Brumbies a little bit of up and unders, and suddenly the Chiefs are finding those opportunities to get their 4-pack, to kind of like get a quick turnover to break down, a quick, great, even just a quick ball, a quick offload, and suddenly there's extremely fast backs running out your defensive line that are disorganized, and suddenly you are missing a lot of tackles. The Brumbies tackle count was horrendous tonight. I'm missing a lot of tackles left and right, and leading into points and giving away penalties, offside penalties, whatnot, and then suddenly Chiefs are putting ahead every 3 points at a time. Damian McKenzie was outstanding tonight. He did not choke. He missed one kick again at the end. I guess they could still choke at the end of the game. But it is a really, really good Chiefs team tonight, and outstanding, and they're picking at the right times as well. And I think the Brumbies, I think the Brumbies, they had the right game plan, but they just couldn't quite execute it. The Chiefs scrum was really good as well. I thought the Brumbies may have had a bit of advantage in the first half, and the referee blew it against the Brumbies. So I'm not sure what that was about, but it is what it is. It is a difficult, but I think the fact that the Brumbies has made that mental change, there will be a time, maybe next year, that the Brumbies, if they persist with this style, they will be able to break the drought and win in New Zealand in a semi-final, or maybe even a final game that's going to come up. And I have no doubt about it. It will happen. It's just a matter of time, and the players will have to get used to those big occasions and rise up to the next level. So if you think about it, right, the best players, if you think about it, again, I like to talk about Tom Brady for some reason, even though I don't even watch NFL that much. But if you watch a lot of Tom Brady's games, his regular season is actually pretty average. If you look at his performance, regular season is really average. But when it comes to the big games, he delivers big time. You need to hit his runners. He pinpoint, shreds the needles through in 1 second left on the clock, that sort of stuff. Get the touchdown, get the win. He lives to the next level when the crunch time comes. That's the difference. And I think a lot of it, I think the mentality of kicking penalty goals, just kick some penalty goals and pray for the best. And that's just not good enough. You need to go to another level, and I think the Brumbies mentally try to take it up to another level, and that's the most important part to me. And I'm really, really, really happy with the effort that the Brumbies put out tonight. So despite the loss, I'm actually not too upset. overall. Yeah, so that's I guess yeah, that the Tom Brady thing makes maybe you understand what I'm trying to talk about with that Tom Brady analogy if you are a NFL fan. But anyway, let's have a look at the anything else I want to talk about? No, I think that's it. Let's have a look at the stats of the game. So yeah, some reason Super Rugby has given up on the stats on Rugby Australia website. So we'll have the final on another one. Possession 55-45 to the Brumbies. The Brumbies actually did more in the game in terms of putting pressure on the Chiefs. 186 passes to 130. 3 tries to piece as well. Difference is the penalties, but it's not because of the penalties the Brumbies lost the game. Try assist, that's okay. Clean breaks, not that much more for the Chiefs. 8-6. 6 penalty goals. Again, Brumbies just giving away silly penalties left and right. Nick Berry's refereeing wasn't that clinical. Scrum 100% for both teams. I'm pretty sure Chiefs had a penalty in the second half, and the Brumbies had given away a penalty as well in the first half. So yeah, I think there was two penalties against the Brumbies in the scrum. There was 1 against the Chiefs, and but overall, I thought the Chiefs scrums were slightly more polished. Lineouts, the Brumbies struggled a little bit. 15 out of 19, 100% for the Chiefs. Turnovers 15-14 to the Brumbies, and meters run 541 meters for the Chiefs, 381 for the Brumbies. Yeah, not really getting the line break that is needed. The difference here is the defense, which I'll see in a minute right here. 185 tackles made for the Chiefs, only 22 missed tackles, just a little bit over 10%, maybe like 12%. And the Brumbies, 100 tackles made, 27 missed tackles. That's 27% missed. That's like doubling the percentage in terms of completion rate, and that's what I'm talking about. When the Chiefs, a sudden changing speed, catching the Brumbies defense, by surprise, suddenly you're offside. Suddenly, you're missing tackles. Suddenly, you're having the rocks. People are not marking out the pillar and post, and now otherwise goes in for a try. They literally score like that, right? It's just a changing speed from the Chiefs that is so dangerous. Penalties conceded, 7 against the Chiefs, 11 against the Brumbies. I thought it was a lot worse than that, but only 11 for the Brumbies. There was 1 yellow card for a head-on-head, for a high shot from the Chiefs early in the first half. And exactly, that's another thing as well. When that happened, the Brumbies went for the try, and the commentators were just begging to kick 3. Why would you kick 3 points when your opposition is down to 14 players? You need to extract as many points as you can. So that actually got me frustrated a little bit. You're against 14 players. You wanted to give them a break while you take 3 points. It's literally what the opposition does. When they are down a player, they're trying to kick penalties to milk the clock, to run the clock down. And it's really, I think the Brumbies made the right decision. A little bit frustrating to hear some of the commentary begging for 3 points. Now, with that being said, let's have a look at the details of the game. We could probably see it here. No, we haven't. Anyway, let's do a quick recap of the game. Just one last thing. When it comes to Crusaders next week, I'm not sure how they're going to win this one against the Chiefs. But hey, I'm guessing that they're going to probably try to fake a bunch of HIA and take 11-minute breaks for all of their 4-pack. And then that might be enough for them to beat the Chiefs. And but we'll see. So anyway, just a bit of banter. But anyway, let's talk about the try scoring of the game. So yeah, early on the game, the game was actually no one was able to score for quite some time. There was a yellow card against the Chiefs player. Who was it? Was it one of the? I think it might be one of the. I can't even remember who it was. But anyway, there was a yellow card in the Chiefs player. The Brumbies didn't go for 3. They went for the line out. They got turned over one time, and the commentary was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna take 3 points." 100% wrong. 100% wrong. The Brumbies played on. Tom Wright kicked the 50-22, and the Brumbies had a 5-meter line out. They went for the more. Set it up perfectly this time. Billy Pollard goes in for the first try. 7 points to do it. That's how you do it, right? You keep the pressure on. Even if you lost the ball, the Chiefs couldn't exit, right? They kicked the ball back. The Brumbies got it halfway. And Tom Wright kicks the 50-22. That's exactly what happens. You're not even able to exit your own 22 just because you didn't score a try. You're not going to score any points at the other end. But if there was a kickoff, then suddenly the Chiefs are on the front foot, getting your return kick at halfway point, right? Anyway, the way. I don't know. I don't know why the The commentary has this obsession about kicking penalty goals. But anyway, let's go on, move on. 19 minutes into the game, the Chiefs gets themselves on the board. Again, just building some pressure, and suddenly there was a gap around the ruck. No one was there at the pill and post position, and Nardua just pick and go. Try time. 7 points to 7 for the Chiefs, leveling the score. 23 minutes in the game, the Chiefs starting to kick 3 points and only adding more frustration to not the players, to the commentary. Oh my god, look at that. Chiefs are kicking goals. We should be kicking goals too. 31 minutes in the game, another penalty to the Chiefs to kick another 3. Suddenly the scoreboard is 13 points to 7. The Brumbies was not going to entertain the 3 points. They had another penalty, and then they kicked a huge kick for a 5-meter line out, and then Brumbies went for another more. The more got a little bit short. The ball came out. Crossfield kick by Depressini. The ball gets dotted down by Corey Toole. 12 points to 13. Again, the conversion wasn't quite good enough from Lonergan. It is tough. Lolosio got a head-on-head shot from the yellow card. He couldn't come back on due to the HIA. And yeah, I think, you know, they should actually have a thing where if a player can't come back from gets concussed from a head shot, from a high shot, then that should be a 20-minute red card, in my opinion. If your player can't come back, then that should be a 20-minute red card. And if a player don't even go off for a HIA at all, that should not be a yellow card at all. That's just my thought, right? Like, sometimes the player gets hit, they're not even going off for a HIA, and the other player send off for a dangerous tackle. Like, if you don't go off for HIA, it's not a dangerous tackle. And then if someone is taken off because of a high shot, then that should be a 20-minute red card because the team has lost the player. You've got an advantage from your illegal move, right? That should be no mitigating factor. That should be a dangerous tackle, full stop. I think that's yeah. Anyway, the Brumbies had to play without Lolosio for most of the match. Let's move on. 37 minutes into the game, there was a penalty to the Chiefs. They kick another one, 45 minutes out, pretty much near the sideline. 16 points to 12. Just before halftime, there was a scrum. I thought the Brumbies, I thought the Chiefs wasn't holding the weight. It looked like the Chiefs just went, put back, and the Brumbies flattened because the Chiefs wasn't holding the weight. Referee says Brumbies pushing too early or something, collapsing or something. Anyway, there was a penalty to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs kick another one, 19 points to 12 going in at halftime. Second half starts immediately 3 minutes into the game. Is this still recording? Oh my goodness. Is this just... What's happening? Is this still recording? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. Anyway, let's just quickly finish. I'm not sure if this is still recording, but because my recording stopped, so I'm just gonna continue, and maybe, you know, anyway, let's just finish this quickly. So 43 minutes, Brumbies again coming out, fired up, just some really good hands, everybody, you know, popping the ball off the ground, and then Corey Toole got the ball down the sideline, bumps up Damian McKenzie in a speed bump, goes in for the try. 19 points to 17. A lot more soft defenses from the Brumbies coming out immediately. 46 minutes. Leroy Carter bumped up a bunch of players and still stayed on his feet. Get an offload off just in front of the try line, and Narawa goes in for the try for the Chiefs. Suddenly the scoreboard ticks up to 26 points to 17. Following this, 55 minutes, there was a high ball from the Chiefs. They got a penalty out of that for offside from the Brumbies. 29 kicks another one, 29 points to 17. 57 minutes to the game, another penalty to the Chiefs. Again, this was a terrible call from Nick Berry. It looked like the Brumbies had a turnover, but the Nick Berry said that was saying there was play not rolling away. 32 points to 17. 63 minutes in the game, the Chiefs starting to feeling more confident. There was a nice little line out. The play went out the back to Damian McKenzie, who looped around and then linked up with Leroy Carter, who crashed through for the try. 37 points to 17. 64 minutes of the game. Right from the kickoff, it looked like Tom Wright got the ball from the kickoff, recovered and ran through into the corner for the try. Damian McKenzie tried to stop him. Turned out Tom Wright did not score. Dima had his hand under the ball and held the ball up to stop the try from scoring. And after that, there was a lot of back and forth, and yeah, the Brumbies just forcing more and more errors, try to push this tempo of the game, just not quite get there, and the Chiefs just happy to hold this one off and grind it out for a 37 points to 17 win. Damian McKenzie, man of the match, and his kicking game got better and better and better towards the end of the match as well, getting more and more accurate. And yeah, it is just what it is. Damian McKenzie, a confident player, you give him time and space, and he's going to be running all over you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know, I might have to read this video. You might have stopped recording, but thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.